Gautama Buddha traveled from village to village across ancient India, sharing early psychological insights into the mechanics of human suffering. On one particular morning, he arrived at a settlement surrounded by tall banyan trees. Farmers dropped their tools, and merchants closed up shop, forming a crowd that sat in total silence, emotionally open to the discussion. He explained that suffering is generated by the mind's reaction to the world, rather than the world itself. Achieving a peaceful mind requires an active, disciplined framework of interpreting reality, rather than a passive state of ignoring it. But sitting within this receptive audience was one man harboring deep resentment and agitation. He viewed Buddha's calm influence as a direct threat, a calculated deception that led ordinary people away from their responsibilities. The man finally reached a breaking point. He stood up and shattered the quiet of the village square, shouting that the audience was being misled by a man who knew nothing of their struggles. He hurled insults and mocked the day's teachings, attempting to force Buddha into a defensive fight-or-flight reaction. This single emotional outburst acted as a contagion, instantly weaponizing the atmosphere of the entire group. The attacker's volume and aggression continued to escalate, yet Buddha remained in a state of absolute physical and verbal stillness. The villagers waited anxiously, bracing for a conventional defensive counterattack. Seeing no resistance, the attacker pushed harder until his physical energy was spent. He mistook the silence for weakness, unaware that he was simply exhausting his own resources. Buddha's stillness served as a highly controlled, deliberate refusal to engage within the attacker's emotional framework. By refusing to react, a target starves an aggressor of the emotional feedback required to sustain a conflict. Breaking the silence, Buddha asked a single, disarming question. This flowchart illustrates the logical riddle. If someone offers a physical gift, but the recipient chooses not to accept it, who retains ownership? The man admitted the obvious logic. The unaccepted gift remains with the giver. Buddha equated the man's insults to that refused gift. Anger is like a burning coal. When you hold it to throw at another, you are the one who gets burned. Anger is a transaction that requires a willing recipient to transfer its destructive payload. The man stood frozen as the silence redirected his hostility inward. Without an opponent to catch his venom, he was left holding the full weight of his own aggression. His aggression shifted to internal reflection. Lowering his head, he spoke with a quieter voice and offered a sincere apology. Buddha responded with compassion, framing the unaccepted anger as a mirror that had simply revealed the man's internal state to him. Self-awareness often begins at the exact moment our emotional projections fail to land on others. Buddha addressed the village regarding the strict boundaries of emotional ownership. Reacting with anger voluntarily accepts another person's burden, while responding with patience maintains personal freedom. True power is found in the autonomous, conscious choice to refuse the conflict altogether.